Hello, 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 everybody. This is your favorite something or rather. I don't really know what you call us peeps in the world that do things like this other than the usual, but this is Spot of Nerd, and this might be more of a brief podcast episode, but I did need to get my 2 cents out just briefly. If you haven't yet seen my latest Instagram posts, because there's a new movie out on Apple TV that is, I actually turned it off in about 10 minutes. Just a little more than 10 minutes. And it's really, really sad, because let's be real. I am not the biggest fan of Will Ferrell. I like a lot of his older stuff, but I've never really gotten into a lot of his newer stuff. But you put Will Ferrell, you put Ryan Reynolds and Apple TV, and you put Christmas, and you show us a trailer which looks like a more modern day Christmas Carol, Scrooge type film, and you think, wow, this is okay, cool, this is gonna be pretty badass. And I shit you not, people, within minutes, your eyes are rolling on the fact of they are doing nothing but discriminating, essentially right wing conservative ideals, opinions, so on and so forth. And it's sad because this is a fucking Christmas movie. How do you pander this hard, this quick, in a fucking Christmas movie? I mean, there's sometimes even I get gobsmacked in situations where I see movies like this because in no way at all is it needed. Is it wanted? Is it anywhere necessary to be in this film or any film like it? It's like, take Home Alone, I mentioned in my Instagram thing, take Scrooged, and now add politics into it. You literally are going to scratch your head going, why would you put politics in these films? There's no reason for it. That's precisely it. Why is the big question mark? Just why would you do this? Apple TV I've said this before in previous episodes, they've made good content. I watched Trying, there was Ted Lasso. There's some other shows I haven't watched yet that I'm told are good that I need to get into. I think it's Mystic Quest. I've been told is good. But again, you look at this movie from a trailer standpoint and you go, "Oh, this might be kind of a cool Christmas movie to check out." And you turn it off within 10 minutes. How? Why? When? Where? Like, Apple, what were you thinking? So, hopefully I can save you from your time wasted and don't even bother. If anything, dear God, don't spend money at all for this film. Jesus, let this film die. Just seriously, let it die the way it needs to die. A very fast, quick, painful death, hopefully. So, just wanted to give you my 2 cents on that because again, I just sometimes I get speechless when I see things like this about it is amazing to me that, when you bring these subjects or these motives, agendas into a film and you wonder why nobody watches or you wonder why it didn't do so hot in the box office. You question yourself, why? I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know why it didn't do so well. And then you look at reasons that you completely turned a blind eye to. Hence, you look at Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I mean, genuinely speaking, I am not lying or trying to make up shit. The majority of everybody is saying that Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is a terrible film. It is god awful. And if you go back and you watch my review or you listen to it here, the fact of the matter is, it's trash because you used to be able to write good stories, and those stories have now become absolute garbage. And you did it to yourselves. You 100% did it to yourself. You can only blame yourself, Marvel. You can only blame yourself, Apple TV. This one's on you. Or whichever movie, TV, that's on you. Flipping the curve, though, if you are a Star Wars fan, you most definitely need to be watching Andor. I've said this before, I will probably say it multiple times in the future, but I wholeheartedly was wrong in the beginning when I first started to review this series. I said it was boring, it was mind-numbing, I was very afraid, but my God, this is honestly probably one of the best television series I have ever seen. Even if you took the Star Wars main title out of it and it was a standalone series, this would be one of the most incredible series ever written. And if anybody, Disney, Star Wars, Lucasfilm, whoever, maybe somebody out there in the world is listening to this, this is how you are supposed to do Star Wars, and this is how you're supposed to do the future of Star Wars. The Mandalorian, again, that is a great show. I am very much looking forward to season 3, but I'm going to be very forward when I say this. I believe, and I'm going on a limb here, but I genuinely am going to say Andor just might actually be a better show. That's how good it is. You know, spoiler if you haven't seen the most recent episode, you almost got teary-eyed because of a droid. Yeah. No, let me again repeat that. I was almost getting teary-eyed over a droid in the last episode. And what I mean by that is because, long story short, there's a certain main character that dies. The character that dies, of course, had this droid, like a housekeeper droid. And the droid is genuinely going through grief. And the way they've written it, the way they've portrayed it, it's like a lost puppy or a dog that you've given up for adoption and it's stuck in a cage, and he is just this droid is just sad, and he's like, I don't want to be left alone, please don't leave me alone. It breaks your heart, but it's also just hysterically funny because it's a fucking droid. So again, it's just proving how amazing that the writing of this show is, because you feel it so much. Even the most recent episode, plural, where Andor is in jail and he's trying to break free. It's just, again, you feel the power of these men that are trying to break free because the Empire is just tearing every piece of them down. But God, it's so good. Visually stunning, character development incredible. So we'll do a more of a full review because there's only one episode left in the first season next week. But yeah, we'll do a review on it, kind of recap the entire season, and I'm super excited for whatever they might bring into season 2. They've greenlit a season 2, I think, even before the show started. So God, I hope they continue even more. 3, 4, 5, 6, who knows? However long you can make it, you know? So good on them. Um, some other stuff. Hell's Kitchen. If you love Gordon, you love him. He actually also does, oh my God, he does another show. It's on Discovery. I'm losing my thought process on what the show is. You know what? Gosh, it's almost like if we almost had this technology, we could just look this up. Uncharted, that's what it is. Gordon Ramsay's Uncharted. Another, I mean, Hell's Kitchen is great. I don't care. Season 1, season 20, 21 now. They're still great shows if you're just looking for something reality trash show to watch. But he also does this show called Uncharted where he kind of travels the world finding food and ingredients, and he does all sorts of, imagine Bear Grylls, but instead of Bear Grylls, it's Gordon Ramsay, and he's at the end of it, he has this competition with a fellow cook, I guess, and they have this cook-off thing. So it's a really good show to watch, actually, especially if you enjoy traveling shows. And Gordon Ramsay, I mean, the guy is amazing. He's one of my biggest idols. So uh, definitely check that out too if you are intrigued enough. What else? The final season of Dead to Me has aired on Netflix. That is the show stars Christina Applegate, Married with Children chick, if you remember back in the day, if you're old enough. Sorry, kids, if you're not. Great show. You'll never get a show like Married with Children ever again in today's society. You would lose your shit if you saw that show today. But anyway, Dead to Me season 3. I've watched a few episodes, and this will be the final season. Still good, you know. You might want to go and watch a recap. It was one of those, it's been a few years since we've gotten a new season, so there was definitely parts of it that I've kind of forgotten about. But again, it's kind of your typical comedy, drama, thriller, funny show. She murders somebody and they just try to cover it up. So it's like, imagine Breaking Bad meets Seinfeld or something like that. You know, it's different in its own unique way, but at the same time, something that's just kind of very chill to watch in your off time if you haven't seen it already. I am tomorrow going to be watching, I think it was the last episode of The Peripheral. That too, again, something that is genuinely just some of the greatest storytelling I've ever seen. It's currently on Amazon Prime. Like I said, I think they just aired today the last episode of the first season. I don't know if it's going to get into a second season. They haven't greenlit anything yet, but I will do more of a formal review on that too because I mean, you definitely got to be more into the sci-fi. You've got to be, imagine Westworld. I haven't. I know guilty as charged. I'm not one of those. I've actually seen Westworld, but I'm told it's very similar to that. So it's very sci-fi. It's very apocalypse. It's very future time travel. But again, just incredibly well written and incredibly well done. You know, they definitely had a big budget for this show, and it definitely shows, no pun intended. So if you're looking for something to kind of really start to watch that you need to pay attention to this. You cannot deviate, put your phone down, watch this show because number one, it will keep your attention, but number two, there are a lot of details that you want to make sure you follow so that you understand pretty much what the hell is happening. But I promise you, it will not disappoint. It's definitely top tier films that you want to be watching right. Not films, shows you want to be watching right now. Speaking of films, though, to kind of wrap this mini podcast up, and then we'll do a little bit more further review down the road. I have actually been able to start watching Black Adam from DC, starring The Rock. You know, it is a bit of a slow burn, but I will give it credit. It actually is kind of good. So, once again, Marvel possibly be shaking in their boots right now because DC is kind of showing you up, you know? Even as I've mentioned before with the show Titans, you're kind of getting your ass kicked right now, Marvel, and DC is showing you, if anything, maybe DC is finally starting to learn from their mistakes in the past because they're starting to give us some really good content. I'm not saying it's the best. You know, they're definitely with Black Adam, there's I guess the story is a little lacking. It's very typical bad guy, good guys, but visually incredible. And I do actually like the direction of they are starting to incorporate a lot more of the DC universe, so they're kind of making it one universe with these films now, which is, quite frankly, it's about fucking time. DC, about time. Welcome to the party. You finally got your shit together. It's crazy how long it took you to get this far, so good on you, though. Good job. I have only watched about half of it because it was just getting late, so I'm going to start and I'll finish that this weekend too. So, wish me luck, because in a totally unrelated to the sci-fi fictional side of things, Monday is the start of the World Cup Qatar 2022. England will have their first game Monday morning at 5 a.m. So dear God, wish me luck, because I will get up and watch it. But hopefully you actually will too. Who are you rooting for? I would love to know. Send me the comments. Tell me who you're going to be voting for. Maybe some shows you've been watching, or if you've seen Andor, if you feel the same way I do. Let me know. Honestly, I've always said this. I'd love to chat. I love meeting and kind of chatting comment-wise, DMs with people about these shows and movies and topics that we discuss overall. We will be getting into a little bit more of the serious side of things a little later. I obviously, if you've seen again my Instagram posts, I recently picked up a new child. She is a incredible Q5 match, PDP Walther, PPQ rather, I should say, and I am madly in love with this beautiful piece of art. But I do want to talk a little bit on that regards, because I think it's time we explore a little more into my own history, and that history being a history of hate. And I will go, it sounds really bad, but I promise there's a positive outcome. But I think it's time we start exploring a certain topic that I've wanted to discuss for a very long time now, and only now have really started to figure out a way of how to discuss it in a way that I feel is appropriate, respectful, and will not get me fired from my current employer. So, you can see how that's going to go. But anyway, super duper love and appreciate everybody for following and listening. Subscribe where you can, follow where you can, like where you can. All the good things that I've mentioned and I will continue to mention many times in the future. I super duper appreciate everybody's support, and please continue to watch, share, love, everything in between. We if you don't hear from me soon, you will by Monday, because it's going to be a good day or a bad day depending on England, and hopefully everybody has a good holiday season coming up too. Other than that, again, super duper thanks to everybody. We will see you guys next time. Later, y'all.